Okay, here we are today with a horse from Carry Large. She has traction issues, slipping and falling, and then she was interested in adding some traction. And when we first examined her, we noticed that we have likely some negative plantar angles in the hind. And I thought it would be a good case to show you. If you look at the hind coronary bands, stick down your lower. If you follow that line where it was strike the belly, then if you look at hers, it's up here towards her elbow. That's a good indicator for you on the outside of the horse. She'll allow to do this. You follow that line right there. Ideally, we would like for that to be down here closer to the back of the knee. So it's been my experience that the negative PA leads to lots of things. We're attached from up here at the gluteals all the way down to the back of the collarbone. So the lower that angle gets, the strain from the top of the hip all the way down becomes apparent. Also, the hocks and stifles seem to get a little straighter, so then you end up having a little more torque on all of those. The stifles seem a little bit straighter. A lot of times those horses will have some patellas that hang up. And also the traction issue. I've had several cases that start slipping for some reason when they've been pretty good, and we start adding torque to them, or more traction, which actually can lead to more torque, and it doesn't really, we end up getting more sore hocks and more sore stifles. So I think pairing it with fixing the negative PA with a radiographic guided trim, sometimes it takes a little bit out of the box approach with regards to not a perfectly flat trim. We can post some pictures of the x-rays and post-shooting x-rays and give you an idea about how we do that. Over here, maybe show the x-rays. So we see here in the left hind, we have a negative 5-degree plantar angle. Basically, the wings of the coffin bone should be higher than the tip of the coffin bone. At least a neutral angle at bare minimum. We'll try to get her at least neutral today, probably 2 to 3 degrees positive. And we'll do that just with the trim only and the shape of the shoe. And then we're going to also add some of the Sure Grip. Is that what they're called? Safe Grip traction shoes. And then try to go from there. So typically these negative plantar angle and negative palmar angle feet, you'll see that the heels are run forward. The actual ground bearing surface of the heel is way up here, actually where the center of the coffin joint is. So obviously we get a lot of heel crush. We'll have a pretty deep cup up here towards the toe. So in an effort to take as much as we can up here to increase a positive angle, first thing I do is I'll put my knife pretty much upright on the wall side of the white line. I'm going to take that down all the way through that crumbly stuff right into the waxy. And that lets me know how much I can safely take. We try to take these bars that are laid over, get rid of those. And then I'm going to take a nipper, since obviously we've got at least almost a full inch of depth we can take here. And we're not going to take anything back here with a nipper for sure. So we're going to be taking a positive plane. Go over here on the side. The trim is going to be starting like this. So this toe trim is going to create the positive plane relative to the coffin bone, and then we'll take off our rolled and crushed heel, and we'll end up having a shoe that's shaped flat up here, and then just a little bit of a rocker heel there. Again, we're pushing this. Just think about this as a positive plane, the front part of the foot. We're going to take this just as far as we can, get her just as tight as we think we can in the toe. And with that positive plane, we see that we run out of foot to trim about right here at the quarters, where the foot starts to fold back in on itself. So in an effort to keep from loading that crushed heel, we'll tip the rasp up. Take all that crushed heel off, back to the widest part of the frog. our shoe will mimic that trim. And then I'll usually set them down, step off to the side, and look at that same corner band angle. It looks like we're still fixed it a little bit, but we're still about right here. So then I'll take an x-ray and see if I can gain a few more, see how much sole I have with the toe to try to gain a little bit more. We probably move it from here. The horse shod, and we're going to go over some of the changes that we can see and also show the x-ray. So we've via the Rex x-ray, we've moved this from like a -5 to about a +1 or 2. We still got some room for improvement because we look at our coronary band angle, we're still just about right in here somewhere, when she was up here. So we've improved it some, probably more so on the right and the left. But we got her about as close as we could here on the toe. The next time, we'll get it even more because she's going to stay a little bit more positive each time. The x-rays. So here's the before x-ray. You have to get a little closer. We've got about a 5.3 negative plantar angle. Post-shoeing, we've got a positive 2.6. So again, we've got a flat front part of the shoe, and then where that crushed heel starts, we just rocker that up a little bit towards the back to support that heel. And then the next time we come back, it'll almost be flat when we trim that through, but we'll still take as much as we can out here, start out at a positive angle, and this shoe will have just about maybe half that amount of kicker there in the back. This little kicker is nice because when she comes into that barrel, she's not going to hit a lever arm back here that's going to add pressure to the heel, slap the foot down quickly, and that gives a lot of landing relief as well. Same way with the left hind, we've got about a -5 degrees here, and now we're at a positive 2.4. Same thing, you can see the positive angle that we make with the front part of the shoe and the solar trim at the front, and then we just follow the crushed heel up with that little bit of a kicker, and that gives us, so we moved from -5 to positive 2, so you're looking at 7 degrees of positive change. And that's why I don't use a lot of wedge pads on feet like this, because I can gain so much from the trim alone that if I add a wedge pad to it, then I'm actually adding more crush to the heel part. So by doing it this way, we gain 7 degrees. By the next time we come back, she'll drift a little bit towards negative, maybe to 0, and then we'll gain a little bit more. Also wanted to go over some of the kind of review of the Sure Grip shoes itself. So I think with regards to traction, I think it depends on the horse and the area and what's going on. So the shoe itself, as far as traction goes, you know, if horses are slipping and falling down, then I think traction is better than the horse falling hurt itself or hurting the rider. When you add traction, obviously we're taking torque to the hocks and the stifle, and that's a risk and a down effect. But again, it's still safer than a horse falling and breaking a leg or hurting an owner and a rider. So these shoes have a pretty good amount of lateral traction here, and it has a nice rim shoe. It's got this diamond toe in it for helping that horse break over medial and lateral. As far as actual usability of the shoe, you got to watch a little bit on fit because the nail holes are a little bit coarse, especially up here towards the toe. So it's not something that you want to set back a whole lot or you'll be inside. And like on this one, I fit it pretty tight, but then had to really angle my nails outward to not get the horse in quick. Shaping is a little bit different just because you've got these voids of metal that are gone. So as you're shaping this, it wants to do some bendy things in those places that you have to go back and fix. But overall, I think for a shoe that's going to add traction, it's got a lot of stuff already built in there that you can have a lot of benefit from. And we will see, and Kara will give us an update in the future of how the traction works for it. You see the Hind feet here. Again, the nails are a little bit coarsely punched, so you got to find myself driving from inside to out. We got it fit basically to the widest part of the frog. It's not a tough shoe to shape, and I think it's obviously going to offer some pretty good traction. I used a JC Ott series nail. A lot of the nails that I put in it didn't fit just perfect, but these are a square-headed, square shaft nail that seem to fit in there pretty good. And the right hind as well.